Hey everybody, and welcome to the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship. We're finally here. It is presented by Guaranteed Rate. I'm Madison Walker.
And I'm Erika Stinchcomb, and we're the two hot geese.
Honk. We've missed you guys. Good to see you since the Green Mountain Championships. We're excited to be closing out the season with one of the biggest payouts of the year, and we are at the beautiful Hornets Nest in Charlotte, North Carolina.
This is seeds 5 through 8. Players gain points all throughout the year. So Hailey King, Jessica Weese, Kona, Panis, and Lisa Fajkus. There are 12 women playing today. It's a little bit different format. The top 4 scorers will move on to join the top 4 seeds. So 8 women will be playing tomorrow to make it to the championships, I believe.
Yep, seeds 5 through 16 will be playing today.
Yes.
Hole 1 is a 288-foot par 3. It plays a little longer than that because it is uphill. It's a narrow fairway. We'll see a lot of those out here. You basically just want to miss all the trees. Early left is garbage. Early right is workable. There is no out of bounds you have to worry about.
Park in Charlotte, North Carolina, the proud host of the 2021 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships. First up on our 10 a.m. tee time, hailing from West Bend, Wisconsin, please welcome Miss Hailey King.
Hailey King has a pretty renowned history out here at Hornets Nest. I'm sure you guys remember her taking her biggest payout in her career last year at the Pro Tour Championships.
Yeah, it's equitable payout here. Last year it was 20 grand. This year it's up to 30. So thanks, Guaranteed Rate. That is unbelievable. I'd love to see disc golf keep moving in that direction.
Thanks again to all the viewers as well.
Next up on our 10 a.m. tee time, hailing from Grass Valley, California, please welcome Miss Jessica Weese.
You guys putting eyes on FPO Disc Golf is helping us drive forward as well. Leave us a honk in the comments. Also, thanks to Gkpro for the awesome footage.
So I think I misspoke. These are obviously seeds 5 through 8. Hailey being 5, we're just going in order. Jessica 6. You had to play at least 8 Pro Tour events to try to gain enough points to qualify for these championships. Both Hailey and Jess putting for birdie.
Our next competitor on our 10 a.m. tee time, from Rancho Cucamonga, California, please put your hands together for Miss Kona Star Panis.
Kona choosing to go mid-range here with her Tour Series Star Mako 3. You're going to see a lot of mid-ranges and control fairway shots, placement shots, and small gaps in these really tough North Carolina woods.
Not a bad kick. Center fairway is always a good place to end up.
From Canyon Lake, Texas, please welcome Miss Lisa Fajkus.
Lisa's someone who tends to go higher speed discs, even in the woods, so she can really shred some incredible lines, but always something to be careful about if you get a bad tree kick, which she's not.
So close.
Oh, so close. It hit that last tree and took a pretty big bounce.
Looks like it got a little bit of a roll there at the end, too.
Bushnell putting Kona at 226 feet to the pin. Not a gimme by any means, but should be, you know, in the wheelhouse to get up and down there for her par.
She kicks some roots and finds her way inside the bullseye, just under the basket.
Hailey for birdie. A little over 40 feet, it looks like. Not quite as much pop on her putt as we normally see. Lisa from just a bit closer.
Wow.
Heart of the chains. That's the way to start.
Yeah, let's watch this in slow-mo.
All the oomph. Great follow through.
First putt out of the gate.
Yeah.
That's a nice confidence builder for the rest of the round.
Lisa, great circle 2 putter in the FPO field. And Jessica, about 25 it looks like. Count it. Great start. This is an interesting format. You're very aware of what everybody else is doing because you have to beat everybody else. And after today, the slate is wiped clean. You start fresh tomorrow. So it is it's just so different.
It's pressure filled.
Yeah, it's pressure filled. And maybe people that don't normally look at U-Disc and look at the scores are paying attention to know what they need to do. Hole 2, classic over the water shot. It's only 267 feet, but the water carries for about 250 of that. You do have to land on this island green, or you progress to a drop zone, which is somewhere around a 60-foot putt, I'd say. If you make land, you're probably putting for birdie. And I'd say, yeah, again, mid-range, maybe a fairway driver kind of a deal. If you got a huge arm, you might even throw a putter.
Messing with a backhand distance driver here is scary because you can skip off the top of the island and go out of bounds deep. Jess looks like she might have grip locked this.
Rough kick, too. And there is a rope. It's not the boards. There's a rope string line inside the boards that maybe goes out to circle 2 width-wise and is only about circle 1 kind of lengthwise. So we'll see that drop zone from Jessica.
Lisa, with that faster disc that we talk about, what she usually chooses, plays with the back side of the island, but a tree catches her before she can slide. She'll be inside the circle.
And this looks more like maybe a Luna from Hailey here. Nice calm conditions today, it looks like.
Oh yeah, it was perfect. It got hot quickly. It was chilly in the morning, but you were shedding layers within the first few minutes of the round. Hailey looks like she slides deep, which is surprising.
Yeah, if you get inside, usually those boards kind of catch you. But again, the string line is not exactly where the boards are. So she must have just gotten kind of a rough break.
Kona going for that biggest gap that's just to the left of the basket, but hyzering out away.
Beautiful. Another Mako 3 from her. And we got to give a shout out to Holly Finley, who aced this hole. There's pretty good camera footage of that, so go check that out. It was really cool. And I'd say that's really common. You kind of give this one a go, but it's pretty narrow, and it's really hard to make that drop zone putt.
Whew. Very casual bid from 66 feet.
Kona for her birdie.
Just outside the circle.
Inch low.
Both holes 1 and 2 played under par for the FPO field. These are 16 of the best women in the world.
Lisa 2 for 2.
So we will be seeing some low scores out here. What do you think hot round's going to be out here?
I've only played out here once at the Carolina Clash, but there were some like 5 and 6 downs. I think there might be a few variations on pin placements. So I would guess somewhere around a 5.
I feel like this is playing easier than in years past. I was guessing like a 2 or 3 down.
I know for a fact there's like hole 15 is shorter and there's things like that. I would say to move on, you got to throw a 5.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure. We'll see.
Hole 3 is a par 4. It is a difficult par 4. This second gap right here that the drone just flew through is very tough to make it through. You want to finish on the left-hand side to open up your second shot to hopefully throw a big turnover to get on the green. A 3 is really hard. A 4 feels awesome. A 5 is okay out here. It doesn't feel bad. Thanks again to FlightFactoryDisc.com for the drone footage on these beautiful wooded holes. They have 2,000 discs in stock. Their brick and mortar is in Pensacola, Florida, my hometown.
Lisa, really trusting this disc. You almost want to throw it straight. Like, that's what it looks like the shot calls for. But if you bail out to the left, it's honestly not too bad and kind of can widen that gap. But there are some trees that can get in your way if you're kind of unlucky on the left side.
If you do kick right, there's a bunch of woods, and it would be tempting to try to cut through to the basket on this horseshoe-shaped fairway, but it is not a good idea.
No, I've tried it.
Yeah,
it went badly. Kona just throwing that nice straight Mako 3. She might be a little short of the corner. It's hard to say, but it really was the ideal line.
This is a great shot from Jess.
This is huge.
Yeah, if it carries the corner, she might be a little pinched on the right side.
Yeah. If you can make
that is not bad.
Yeah, to the, bridge high, I said pin high. I don't know what you call it, but if you can make it up towards that bridge, it's really not that hard of a 3, but it's a very demanding tee shot. Hailey looking like a heat here going for max distance and catches kind of early, and that looked like a pretty big kick.
Left kick is, again, not bad out here. It is the preferred kick. I believe last year during this event, or maybe just in the past, we've seen Paige take an 8 or a 9 and Katrina take a 10. So
that's doable. But that was amazing. I mean, she's up there, not quite in putting range, but she was still aggressive even out of position.
Lisa with a standstill sidearm, just trying to pitch out to the bottom of the bowl, but she goes
What a great line.
That was amazing.
Yeah, flex sidearm, cruising around the trees. Again, not quite putting range, but up there for a really easy par.
From about where Kona is, I would say it's about 300 feet straight uphill.
Yeah, it feels more like 350 with the hill.
And you have to work the outside line. Kona missed inside there. You'd want it to go about 15 feet more to the left before it started hyzering out. That's the biggest gap.
That's honestly not a bad kick. She'll be in the middle and should have an easy par as well.
This is a tough par 4, I think. This played is the most difficult hole on the course today.
It also played the most difficult at Carolina Clash, where it was the same layout on this hole anyway.
It averaged about 3/4 of a stroke over par. Only 8% of the field birdieing. That is 1 birdie out of the 12 competitors playing today.
And I would say this is the reason. Kona being on the right, Jessica honestly did pretty well for being on the right and pinched. But like you said, if you try to cut through those woods, like it seems not so bad, but boy, 4 strokes later, you're like, man, how'd I get here?
I still, again, have nothing. Man, that was such a great second shot from Lisa. That's so impressive.
Yeah, especially from a standstill. She's got a lot of power on the forehand. Kona to save her par. Not quite, just a little left. Hailey with a solid par there, especially from a pretty early kick off her drive.
Mm-hmm. Great par from Lisa as well with that very impressive second shot.
And like you said, a 5, could be worse.
Rebecca Cox with the only birdie on the day. She was also the only person to find circle 1 for birdie. That's so impressive.
Good one. Hole 4 is a par 5. You should do this one. It's different than when I played it.
Yeah, so there's out of bounds on the right and left-hand side with the baseball field and obviously the sidewalk. This is a new tee pad this year. You want to land somewhere just where the drone flew over. Your second shot, you're trying to get around or close to this green box, but you have to push a little further than that, hopefully not catching the side hill that rolls out of bounds in the parking lot. You have a good bubble of space to work with to the right of the basket, but not a lot of space to work with deep. So you really want to control your last shot.
That's interesting. They moved the pin back, but elevated it. So it's like a little harder to go into the road, but still has that danger of putting too far with the elevated pin.
I think Lisa is safe, although that is not where you want to land to progress up the fairway. She'll still be able to save a 5 from there. It is a friendly par on this hole. Birdie is definitely in play. Jess is trying to get every bit of this fairway that she can.
Yeah, I think that's her halo turn. And, I mean, other than being close to the fence, it was a really great shot. Good distance.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Hopefully she has a run-up on her next shot.
It's a low ceiling shot, so it is not as easy as it looks in this camera angle to get the distance. Hailey working about with as much height as you can get on this tee shot. There's some low-hanging branches that definitely get in your head.
And Hailey has enough power that she goes pure hyzer and gets almost as far as Jess did.
Kona pushing pretty far straight. There are some trees on the deep side of the fairway you don't want to mess with, but she gets that nice hyzer at the end and gets past the trees you want to miss.
Yeah, some great shots. Lisa with the only kind of errant tee shot, I'd say, but she can absolutely still save her par, and who knows, maybe do something heroic to get a look at a birdie.
Yeah, there's always the option to cut the corner before that green box to look for birdie when you're in Lisa's position. It is, again, really low ceiling, but it is available.
You also, is there out of bounds over there?
Yes.
Yeah, so you carry OB the whole time.
Ooh, I
think she landed safe. I honestly think that pole helped her stay in bounds.
Yeah. She looked like she had kind of a blind shot over the fence the whole way, but it worked. Wow, I did not realize how pinched off Jess, Hailey, and Kona were on this shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
They get way down there.
Yeah, great distance, and I mean, they have an angle. It's just tight. It's too bad that tree stopped her. I think she was going to skip pretty darn close.
Yeah, she's looking
she's
for
up there
eagle
for
here.
Eagle, yeah.
Kona with a similar looking lie and taking a little bit more of a conservative approach. She's
that's
okay with birdie.
AVR X3 and settling for the measly birdie.
Lisa also opting for the safe play. She's at 291 feet from the pin, but with a kind of interesting hard right turn halfway through her line.
Yeah, that was a smart shot. Not trying to do anything too crazy.
Jess again pinched up against the fence, but she's got space to work.
260 to go, and on a pure hyzer, parks it in the bullseye. I like this change. It's cool to kind of, it's still not an easy birdie, but distance-wise, it is.
Yep.
And even to bring in eagle into play, you don't see that a lot in our field, so pretty cool.
It averaged at 4.83, just barely under the par of 5.
Ooh, Lisa blowing by, and you can see how far that string line is off the boards for the out of bounds, so that's an unfortunate error.
And how close it is behind the basket.
Yeah.
It also downslopes all the way around the basket. So it is very easy for your disc to pick up and roll.
So this is for a bogey save.
Oh, no. That one spiraled out of control quickly.
Yeah, they're all kind of like that. Like, you can birdie a lot of the holes out here, especially the front nine, I think. But, I mean, you can also double bogey any of them. Great birdie from Jessica.
It's also, they've got a really nice mix of holes out here with the really wooded back nine and this more open front nine. This course is awesome. Nice birdies from Hailey and Kona.
Well, and Jessica.
And Jessica.
Yeah, all three. And then Lisa taking the double, bringing her back to even, but she's doing fine. She's hanging in there. Let's check in, see how everybody else is doing. Heather Young, scorching 4 down through 7. Rebecca Cox, the only one to get hole 3. She's 2 down through 7. Everyone else kind of just barely under par or even.
Hot Goose at the bottom of the leaderboard.
Trying to work her way up. Hole 5 is a pretty short par 3, only 258 feet. There is an OB string line on the right, OB road on the left. It really shapes up, I think, slightly better for a sidearm, but you could do a backhand, mid-range or whatever you want to do at that range. There's some OB that wraps around deep as well. I think this is one of the easier birdies out there, but you can find OB fast.
It's important here to just control your disc landing because it is a sloped green. It can easily pick up and roll and find out of bounds in the road. Also, if you turn your disc over too much, that OB wraps in really tight just behind the basket.
It does. I think that could have been a Roadrunner from Jessica, thrown really nicely. And I think this black one is a zone from Hailey. So smooth.
Right at the bottom of the hill. You do not want to be at the top of the hill. It is a very awkward putt.
Yeah. You feel very tall.
Kona opting for the sidearm here. I'm a little surprised, but her sidearm's awesome.
No, she's been able to rely on it all year. That was a Colton Montgomery lone howl. And yeah, I would call her kind of like a dual wielder at this point, backhand, forehand.
Totally. For some reason, I like the backhand line better here. Just I like that little bit of a safe left finish at the end.
Yeah, I think the problem is that was great from Lisa as well. I think the problem is sometimes you turn it
A little
too much, and the OB's a little tighter on the right than the left.
Yes. Kona from just inside the circle.
Great connection.
Hailey from about 25 feet.
21 feet.
1.5 feet.
That gets Hailey under par. Looking like a star frame here. Fingers crossed.
The front 9 at Hornets Nest is where you want to try to pick up as many birdies as you can before you head into the woods. These ladies are doing just that.
Especially when the wind is down. When I played, the wind was up, and it was hard to even get some of these simpler ones. Lisa back under par, just forgetting like the last hole ever happened.
I'm Garrett Girthy. People know me as Double G. I've been making Double G craft jerky since I was 16 years old.
Whether I'm at home or on the road, Double G craft jerky is the snack that I go for.
I've actually found myself eating Double G craft jerky on my long drives to the next tournament.
We all know Double G's got a big arm, but he's also got a big heart. Every bag of Double G jerky that you buy supports children's disc golf and goes to a great cause.
You can find Double G craft jerky at doublegjerky.com.
When I walk up to the tee, I have these game plans. I know where I want to land. I know the distance to the basket from those positions. I think I'm going to land in these same areas every single time, but you never know. I know how far I am. I know the height now. Having the Bushnell Range Finder, no matter where I land, gives me that extra level of confidence.
What is belief? Nathan McKinnon? At 14, he wasn't wishing he'd make it to the NHL. He believed that he would. So while other kids were playing video games, he was putting in the work to make his dream come true. Guaranteed Rate believes in your dreams. That's why we treat everyone like we treat our own family and work extra hard to get you the lowest low rate possible. Because if you believe, you will.
Hole 6 is a 321-foot par 3. There is road out of bounds on the right-hand side. You want to throw something that's going to glide straight for a while, but you want it to get a nice little finish into this wood chippy green here. It is an elevated basket. You can easily find the woods on the left-hand side, and it makes your putting a lot more difficult. This is a hole that everyone in the field can reach, and it played as the easiest hole on the day.
Yeah, for right-handed players, it's a pretty simple hyzer. You can throw it high like Jessica's doing here and get it all the way there, or you can play it a little lower and straighter with a distance driver and just get a nice skip. It's pretty easy to find the circle on this one. This looks like one of those lower straighter shots, and it skips a little too far straight rather than a flare skip to the left, but she'll have a putt from 35.
I put these interesting little carpets in front of the tee pad, which was nice for your follow through. I feel like they would be awesome on rain round days.
Oh, I bet. Kona with the skip play gets to about 20 feet. This looks a bit wide from Lisa. It needs a big skip. And it gets it. Yeah, really nice.
It's a perfect little landing zone there for that play. This hole averaged at 3/4 of a stroke under par. That's one of the lowest I've seen.
Ever.
Yeah. With the best women in the world.
Get it, Hailey. Yeah.
Wow, framed up nicely.
It's almost more fun when it's framed up.
I feel like it's easier to focus too.
Yeah.
I know what I need to do. Nice. We know we'll see some more long putts like that from Hailey. and from the rest of the ladies on this card.
Lisa connects as well, looking like yet another star frame. I don't want to jinx it. I gotta stop saying that. Make it Kona, please.
We just have faith.
Yes. Whew, got it. Counts. Little left side, but stays in.
You can see these women just adding up birdie strokes in this front nine, like we said earlier, really giving themselves a nice cushion before heading into the very tight fairways on the back.
Hole 7 is a par 4, a little shorter at 588 feet, but pretty technical. Road left is OB. You're trying to land your first shot kind of through this first gap here, and then you can either take the left side that the drone is flying through on a forehand or an anhyzer, or there's a right hand gap that's more of a hyzer line, but it's a little harder to shape the shot to get to the pin to have a look at your birdie.
The trouble you can get into is early right-hand side. There's a bush that's right perfectly in the way if you're throwing a turnover shot and you turn it over a little too much, right where Jess is.
Yeah, she's going right at it. It eats discs too.
It does. Like nothing will poke through there or bounce out into the fairway.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to recover from there. This is a par 4 though. So
Hailey,
par is definitely still in play.
Yeah, just difficult. Hailey ripping on this heat. What a beautiful shape, and she gets so far down there.
Yeah, putting it really high and trusting it to come back.
A lot of people you'll see kind of almost disc down to just make sure they hit that first gap, but not Hailey. I mean, I guess the heat is discing down for her. Mm-hmm. She's so good. This is turning a little too much. And, wow, actually kind of sneaks through that side of the bush.
That is rare.
Very rare. 1 in 25.
This is the first hole of the day that is averaging over par. That is merited. It is a challenging tee shot. There's a few trees in the middle, too, that if your first or second shot get tangled up, it's really hard to recover from there and to try to get up and down. Lisa navigates that area, though, and gets around it.
Yeah, she's showing really great power on her standstill forehands. She'll have those trees to contend with in the middle, but she has maybe 150 feet to the pin.
Jess is actually more open than I could ever imagine where she is under that bush. She has room to get a full swing. She'll be playing with the right side of the fairway, but it's open over there.
It actually rolled out
to
the other side, so pretty routine upshot from there.
According to the Bushnell Range Finder, Kona's 318 feet from the pin. She looks like that right side is wide open.
It's hard on this right side, and Kona's showing us why, because you have to push those right side bushes to make it all the way to the pin. That was very well done.
Such a technical shot.
God, Hailey only 267 to go.
Wow. You don't see many people this far down the fairway on their drive. This is a great shot. She tickles some branches. It causes her to hyzer out a little earlier than the flight of the disc told.
Yeah, she's just outside the circle for her birdie, though, and everybody else is taking pars. And again, you're almost just playing people on your card. Great shot from Lisa.
Yeah, it's hard not to get into that mindset where you just want to beat your card mates, and that's what matters.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of true. They're the last card to go. They know what everyone in front of them is doing. Mm-hmm. They probably do just need to win their card to move forward. Wow, look at Lisa and Jessica hitting the pin. Perfect accuracy on those upshots. Super dialed. Kona maybe giving it a run with a little anhyzer bid from just inside circle 2.
Very nice safe bid. Not messing with any long comebackers.
Hailey for the only birdie on the card.
Yes. And the only birdie on the day.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually surprising. I mean, it's a tough hole, but...
Nobody found circle 1
I blame
on their
that
second
bush.
shot. I'm so surprised. Yeah. I solo blame on the bush.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh!
Little, too much gumption there, but...
Isn't it exciting?
Some great pars. All those ladies find a little bit of trouble off the tee, but no problem.
Hole 8 is a 534-foot par 4. There's a very tight gap off the tee with a Mando, although I don't know why anyone would want to go left off the tee. You want to pitch something out to this area right here, opening up your second shot to the basket. You can either have a very straight shot from there, or you can, if you're a little too deep, it's a fun turnover shot, a little too shallow, and there is not a lot to work with. Early is pretty much death on this hole for your birdie, but you can definitely recover with a par.
Yeah, I would say the natural landing zone is almost like a little short of the opening. I don't know. I think it's hard to progress straight enough to have the perfect look. And Hailey going too far.
Yeah, she might have a little hole over there, but it's definitely farther than ideal
Yeah, this
for the
is
big gap.
kind of a max distance placement shot.
I don't know. I was throwing a mid-range here.
Were you?
Yeah, I liked the mid-range play better just because you didn't have to mess with being deep like Hailey. Jess going early left, hoping for a kick out, but it looks like it might have grabbed. It's pretty grabby in there. It's bad. It's thick. Par is difficult to save from that early.
Wow. Star Leopard 3 getting a little bit of turn. I think the reason I found trouble with the early landing zone is I was getting greedy and trying to progress into the gap instead of just throwing to the gap. So good discipline, really, from all these ladies, just trying to get to the gap to set up their next shot.
Lisa even throwing something a little bit more turn, being okay with being on the right side of the gap.
Yeah, I think it was more turn than she wanted, but she'll have, a nice straight look at the pin.
Just with the forehand roller out of trouble. Needs to check up. I don't think there's out of bounds there. No, the out of bounds is only in the parking lot.
But again, she's kind of where Hailey is, and they're a little bit too far past the landing zone. They'll have to throw maybe some sort of
big turnover.
Tall Anheuser shot.
I like that.
Yeah, tall.
This looks great.
Wow.
She gets
through everything on the right side.
That was...
I don't want to call this one a poke and hope, but there are a lot of fairway trees on this one. So you kind of pick the biggest gap and, just hope it gets through those last couple of trees. That was really beautiful by Lisa. Wow. Look at that tall forehand.
That's a great shot from Jess. Really working the ceiling, not hitting a single tree. So getting the full distance that she put on it. Amazing. To circle 2 from there. Amazing. Kona has the gap right at her feet. She's looking straight at the basket. Heiser's out a little earlier than she wants, but she'll be in circle 2 for a putt for birdie.
Yeah, that was her Mako 3 again. She's really leaning on that disc in the woods here. And
Hailey looks like she's eyeing up a line. It might be narrow, but she gets through it.
Yeah,
I think it's inside the circle.
I think that first gap was really narrow. But yeah, I think she got just inside.
This plate is the 3rd most difficult hole on the day, and it is a challenging hole if you don't get your tee shot right where you want it.
It's really a great effort from Jess to try to save her par after the errant tee shot. She'll have to settle for a bogey, though.
Looks like Hailey is actually outside the circle.
Not much. 36 feet, we'll call it. Ah, so close.
Kona giving it a soft bid.
Too soft.
Lisa also from just outside the circle. Oh, just a little bit high. There's only one lady on the day that found the circle for birdie, and that was Heather Young. She is also the only birdie on the day.
Yeah, I thought a few more of them did find the circle, but they were all a little outside.
Just barely.
What do you think is kind of maybe the number people are thinking on the front 9 as far as how many under par you want to be?
I feel like I was hoping for 4 under.
Yeah.
I was hoping for at least 4 birdies, and I think that's doable for every single person in the field here. I think that's a comfortable cushion, especially when you start looking at fairways like this.
Oh man, look at this thing. Par 4, 496 feet. You really, all you need to do is get past that tree in the middle, right now and get into this gap here, and then you really can make it for a birdie. So if you disc down and just throw 2 shots instead of just getting greedy off the first shot, it's doable. But I mean, you could literally throw anything from a putter to a distance driver off the tee. It's whatever you feel comfortable hitting that first gap. There's no out of bounds, just natural tree out of bounds. Tree jail. So Hailey choosing to go to that heat that she loves to throw in the woods, trying to get that max distance, but it kicks a little left.
All right.
It's not great, but it could be worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, earlier left than that is very difficult to recover from. It's even hard just to get back out into the fairway. She's on the edge, though, so she will be able to save her par.
Kona going Mako 3 again. If you couldn't tell by my flight preview, that's the preferred play for me. Just get out here in the middle. Give yourself an open look. That was a gorgeous shot.
Even with this narrow gap that's pretty far off the tee pad, this played is the second easiest hole of the day.
It's not that far for par 4.
Nope.
You know, if you can throw 250, you're parked. Kind of an unfortunate place for Lisa to land right behind that tree, but even she should have a step out forehand or something.
Even if you do make the gap and push deep into the trees, it's still fairly straightforward to get up and down from there. So it's nice to be able to just rip on whatever you trust, like Erika said, and just pick one and hit the gap.
This is a road runner going a little deep, but it's a pretty good kick to get right back in the middle of the fairway. Jessica choosing to go forehand here. Catches one of the last trees. I think she had the right power and height, just a lot of fairway trees. Hailey with kind of a funky stance here in the middle of the bushes. Unable to get out.
She's deeper than I thought she was in there. I thought she was fairly straightforward to get back out into the fairway.
I mean, she could have just pitched out to the fairway, but I think she was trying to get
some legs under it.
Yeah. Lisa, again, kind of throwing too hard on her upshot. But she still has a look at birdie from 40-ish.
Hailey still trying to get up and down. This time, a lot more space to work with in front of her.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful flex forehand with the zone. Great angle control and cool under pressure.
Kona right in the middle of the fairway, wide open.
She threw the slowest speed disc, but is the farthest off the fairway.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Nice little forehand chipper.
Jess just laying up for her par. Wait.
Yeah. Lisa for long birdie.
Giving it a nice bit. Ooh, that looked good from here. Just a little bit past but still inside the circle for her comeback putt.
Kona for her birdie. Nice. That gets her to 3 down on the front 9. Really solid start. I think if you don't have at least 2 down on the front, you're starting to panic a little bit, looking at what everybody else is doing.
This whole average as a half stroke under par. Kind of surprised we didn't see more birdies on this card.
Well, they should have thrown slower speed discs, right?
All right, that wraps up the front 9 here at Hornets Nest. See a lot of birdies on the front. That's what we like to see. Only one real blemish on the scorecard, but Lisa had a really clean rest of her front 9.
Absolutely. Let's see where everybody else is at. Heather Young, 6 down through 11. Juliana Corder, 4 down. We should say that ties go to the higher seed. There's no playoff. So, again, it really will do you well if you played well throughout the season and you have the higher seed. Everyone on our card in position to make it through to tomorrow. So we'll see what happens on the back.
Yeah, this is exciting. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're 2 hot geese. Honk.
Honk.